If you're like me and you spend way too much time scrolling on your phone for hours on end, I've got some good news for you. Thanks to the new app Free Cash, you can actually make money out of just sitting on your phone. The app is really simple. There's lots of offers, games, surveys, apps to test, lots of tasks like that. And depending on what you complete, you earn rewards. Now, it's really quick to get started, and obviously, you're not going to become rich overnight off of this. But if you're already sat on your phone anyway and you want to make some extra cash, then this is a nice little earner. There's over 60 million people using this app with $250 million paid out to their users. And it's got a 4.7 rating on Trustpilot with over 276,000 reviews. And if you do use it, make sure your app tracking is switched on so they can give you the right local offers to benefit you. And there's a bunch of ways you can cash out if you do use it. They've got Amazon gift cards, they've got Visa, PayPal, and a bunch of other options. So if you want to give it a go, click the link in the description below or use the QR code on screen now. And when you complete your first offer, you'll get a $10 bonus. So a big thanks to Free Cash for sponsoring this video. But for now, enjoy the video. America! Fuck yeah! I do love America. I do. I fucking love it. I fucking love it. They'd never do this in England. They'd never even dare try and celebrate our country. Why would they? Despite everyone wanting to move to the UK, we never celebrate. We never say how great it is. Because the politicians who could do shit like this, they don't want to remind us all how great of a country we have because they're busy destroying it. They don't want us to realise. But that's for the True Geordie channel. We'll talk about it over there. Look at that, man. That looks fucking great. I just like the fact that the Americans celebrate their country and like they give credit to the troops. And some people think that that's a load of propaganda, and yeah, a little bit, maybe a lot even. But being proud of your country is the only thing between you and people fucking it up, basically. And I've been slagging the UFC off for a while now in terms of just feeling disappointed by the fights, the lack of effort, the product, the whole thing. But in this event, they smashed it on every single level. The production, the quality of the fights, everything. I fucking loved it. I thought this was an amazing event. And I was a little underwhelmed, probably a lot underwhelmed when the card was announced because Dana had hyped it up as the greatest fights he'd ever put on. And the names weren't that mega. But motherfucker, this card delivered. I also love that it pissed off Hillary Clinton, who was bitching like, this is our White House. It's not his house. And people are like, do you not remember your fella busting nuts over the secretary when he was in the Oval Office? You silly slag. So this was Ilia Topuria the night before his fight over Justin Gaethje. There he is with Alexander Usyk there, the GOAT. And he does a speech where he says, tomorrow is not a victory that we have to earn. The victory is already ours. Now, this isn't the first time he's had like a pre-fight party to celebrate what is about to happen. And, oh, he's manifesting. Well, maybe he shouldn't have been manifesting and he should have been getting himself mentally ready for the fucking train that was on the way in Justin Gaethje. Because this is what I don't like about this manifesting shit that every podcaster talks about these days. Sometimes you gotta prepare for the worst, because life doesn't always go according to the script you have in your head. Now it's funny because Ilia started this fight in just full belief that he was gonna wreck Justin Gaethje. You could see the thought of what if had not even occurred, right? The level of confidence, it was impressive. And he was just walking forward, showing Gaethje no respect. The problem was for him, is Gaethje was jabbing him in his eye sockets the whole fucking time, and that little feint takedown and the uppercut landed really well as well. Justin Gaethje was landing constantly, and Topuria, you see these little shots, and at the time you're thinking, oh, he's taking them well, but he's fucking taking plenty. Yes, he was undeterred, and he was like, I'm just going to keep the pressure on, and eventually I'm going to get you, and I'm going to win. But the lack of thought of like, well, what if you don't, mate? I think this cost him so much in this fight. When you're fighting a Justin Gaethje, the idea that he might survive what you put out should always be in your head. The guy is an animal. He's known for having wars. This is literally what he does. Survive and keep going. And Topuria just completely wrote him off in his head. And the reach of Gaethje, you see there, like, he is the bigger man. And you know, Topuria's head movement was non-existent. Like, he's just like, I'm going to get you. I don't need to worry about head movement. I'm going to get you. And like, you fucking do need to worry about what's happening here, mate. Justin Gaethje is no bum. He's not a mug. And Topuria definitely didn't respect them enough. Lovely uppercut again, Justin Gaethje. Now, this is where Topuria did start to land towards the end of that first round. And look, the power is obviously phenomenal from Topuria, but he has such belief in it that it's almost too much. He wasn't pacing himself. He's like, I'm just going to get this guy out here. He'd said that it was going to be a first round knockout, and I think he was like, I have to do this. I have to do the first round knockout. And he's taking crazy risks here. He's in the pocket, and he's just like, I'm going to hit you, and I'm going to take one to give one. And it's like, you look at this, man. It's fucking crazy. You don't need to do this. And he's taken so many shots. And it's like, I know he thinks he's the best boxer in the UFC. And offensively, I would agree. In terms of just that landing the punch accurately, fast, picking spots, he is amazing. But defensively, fuck me. This was atrocious. This was absolutely terrible. This was Ilia Topuria's face at the end of round 1 after just 5 minutes. I gave that round to Justin Gaethje, yeah. Well, 10-9. Now, in round 2, Topuria starts going to the body, and my God, it was fucking brutal. Very rarely do you see body shots have such an impact on a fighter in MMA, right? It's obviously more of a boxing strategy. Kicks to the body you see in MMA, but this was beautiful body work, and he really was breaking down Justin Gaethje. And I'll be honest, I mean, Gaethje obviously takes a knee there and lies flat on his back. At this point, I thought you're going to finish him here. You really got close to finishing him. You're on top now. You just need to keep ground and pounding away. The problem was he put so much energy into those body shots. There was not a lot left. And then he goes for a submission, which Justin's very good at, defending on the ground. And this is what gave it away for me at the end of the second round. I've paused it there. Bit of a weird freeze frame. Topuria was knackered. He had put so much when he was ripping those body shots. He'd put everything into them. And he really thought he'd smelt blood at that point. And he gave so much. And he had fuck all left. And you know who's always got something left? Justin Gaethje. And in round 3, you could see that Topuria was fucked. He was there for the taking, and it was just a matter of time with that jab and the hands of Gaethje. I mean, look at that. You never see Topuria just pieced up like that, just tagged hard. I thought, fuck me. This is it. This is over. I mean, to be fair to Topuria, he did well to just keep going at this point and hanging on, because the man's face was butchered. And it was at this moment I thought, you really fucked it here. You really did fuck this fight up. And you fucked it before you even stepped foot in the cage. And it reminded me of 2 fighters that I've watched before who also rely a lot on their power to win fights. Conor McGregor and Anthony Joshua. When McGregor went in there against Dustin Poirier in their second fight, and he had unwavering confidence that he was just going to, once he landed, that was it, you're going to go. And when Dustin didn't go and he was still in his fucking face, and he's like, well, what do I do now? I put my energy into knocking you out. I got no energy left. I've got no plan B. I didn't anticipate this war happening right now. I'm not ready. Similar for Anthony Joshua when he dropped Andy Ruiz, and Andy Ruiz jumped back up and got right in his fucking face and stuck it on him. Power punchers, they often don't have the plan B. They're not anticipating what happens if my power doesn't work? And when it's time to have a war, and you weren't preparing for a war, you were preparing for a round 2 knockout or whatever, shit goes south real quick. And this was a humbling that this boy, Topuria, fucking needed. Because you can't go in there with a Justin Gaethje and just expect an easy night, like. And that's what he was expecting. Clearly. Gaethje lands with another jab here at the end of round 3. Topuria, to be fair, still throwing bombs, but then they ain't got the same pep behind them, and Gaethje responds with that right hand, and he backs up Topuria. No one ever does it. And another one, and Topuria has gone running here. His face is mangled, man. It's absolutely destroyed. And what's mad is that was a 10-8 round in round 2, and this for me is a 10-8 round as well. It's gone completely the other way though, and that very rarely happens in MMA. This is elite level shit. Topuria walking back to the corner. Look at the state of him. And we had this moment in the corner where basically the doctors are like, we gotta fucking stop this shit. Now, luckily, Topuria gets up at the time and convinces them, like, I'm fine, I'm good to carry on, I'm carrying on. We thought the doctors were gonna stop it at the end of round 3. But what that moment did do is it gave Topuria about an extra minute to get his gas tank back a little bit and recharge for round 4, which I thought he actually, considering the damage he took in 3, he came out quite well. He tried again to put pressure on Gaethje. Gaethje regroups here, And Ilya is still following around the ring, still trying to search for that knockout, but the punches just don't have the same effect anymore, man. That first 2 rounds was where his energy went, and he wasn't planning for round 4 to be in this situation, man. This wasn't even in his state of mind. So now he's in a fucking proper war, and this is the end of the 4th round, and this is where Gaethje lives, man. That knee to the body there. You see him wincing here, Topuria. He's not used to this shit. 4th round, he's not used to this shit. Not like this, he's not anyway. And Gaethje lands a brutal knee, and this is where Topuria goes back to his corner and he says something to his brother. Clearly he said to his brother there, I'm done. Now for any fighter, that's a sad moment, right? Because no one in the fight game wants to be known as a quitter. And in truth, everyone has a quit point. Everyone has a point where they can't keep going anymore. But you're not supposed to show that as a fighter, the bravado and everything that comes with it. But you're really not supposed to show that when you've been talking mad shit. This guy was calling out Ryan Garcia, Terence Crawford, boxers, saying he's better at boxing than them. Literally had his face jabbed off by a 37-year-old who's been finished before Gaethje. And I think before this fight, the aura that Topuria had is like the guy, right? Pound for pound, maybe number 1, potentially. Especially in the way he finished fights and the way he finished great fighters as well. They weren't like average guys. They were people like Max Holloway, Volkanovski, top fighters. And I think his aura took a huge blow because it wasn't that you were beaten by a submission. Like, you literally sat there and said, I can't take this anymore. And when you've been giving it the big licks, and it was believable, right? Every fighter was shocked. Now, I seen Sean O'Malley backstage, Volkanovski, they were like, fuck. Like, they couldn't believe he'd lost this fight, especially against Justin Gaethje, who's talking about retiring. This now makes every fighter who steps in the cage with you, who probably beforehand would have feared him, would have been like, God, this guy can't be beaten. Now they go, not only can he be beaten, he'll quit on himself. He's mentally broken before. I know I can beat him. Massively damaging to Topuria's aura and the future for him, in my opinion. It's going to be really hard for him to rebuild when a 37-year-old guy who's talking about retirement, not just beat you, he broke him physically and mentally to a point where he said, I can't take this anymore. I quit. You can't turn up the press conferences talking the kind of shit you've been talking when that's how you behaved when it got really hard. Because we've seen Justin Gaethje many times in those situations. Do you know what he doesn't do? He doesn't sit there and say no more. And this isn't me having a go at him for quitting. This is what happens to fighters. We've seen it. The way they judge each other, the way they judge themselves, the way he's going to have to look in the mirror the next day and not recognize his own fucking face. I mean, look at that face, man. Jesus. I mean, this guy knocked out Volkanovski, Holloway, Charles Oliveira, and then he gets beat by Justin Gaethje, who'd lost to Holloway, lost to Oliveira. That's what I love about MMA, man. More than any other combat sport, MMA is a place where you can't just be like, well, this guy beat this guy, so therefore he'll beat him. Styles make fights. And we're really going to find out what Topuria is made of now, because I'm reminded of Teddy Atlas when he spoke about Mike Tyson. This is Teddy Atlas, for those who don't know, a legendary boxing trainer. And he said to Joe Rogan on his podcast, he was like, Mike Tyson might have won like 50 fights. He might have lost like 5-6 fights, but he's really 0-6 because every time a real fight unfolded in front of him where he couldn't just blow the guy away with his power, he lost. And will we see that same issue for Ilya Topuria? If you become too reliant on just blowing the guys away and eventually people start standing up to that power and figuring that out somehow, not everyone's going to be as tough as Justin Gaethje, fuck me. But maybe we might see this more from Topuria, if he can't just blow people away with the power, does he have more to him? And I don't mean skill-wise, I mean guts-wise. Because when someone quits, it's really going to test him to come back from that. As for Justin Gaethje, he is the man now. Like, his time in the UFC, he's put on some of the most amazing fights. And then for the biggest fight of his career against an undefeated Ilya Topuria, who everyone picked to beat him. And not just beat him at the White House, but to make him quit. You're a fucking legend. That's it. On to Cyril Gane versus Alex Pereira. I said this in my prediction in the last video at the end of the Tommy Fury video. I just thought Cyril Gane would have too much movement for him, be too light on his feet, as you can see here. Watching this fight, I was like, yeah, I fucking knew this would happen. Like, it really was so straightforward for me. I mean, look at that. There's some back of the head strikes here, but a lot of these are on the side of the dome. And those ones I'm not keen on. They're the ones I'm like, all right, that back of the head a couple of times, maybe even 5 or 6 times by the looks of it. fuck me. I think Alex Pereira was getting pieced up in this fight. I thought this was... When he's being picked apart, he's like, well, I'm just going to put the pressure on you, close the distance, and come forward, because at light heavyweight, that's what I do. And I said in my preview, Cyril Gane's going to hit you faster and harder than you've ever been hit in your life. And you can't play the game that way. The consequences are far more dangerous than when you get hit. This is a man 50 pounds heavier than what you normally get hit by. So you can't just be like, I'm going to brave it, bite down, and walk straight forward. That's what he did. And as much as he's a fucking cheat, Gane, like, I have to say, he's a very good stand-up fighter. And this is what happens. People will be like, oh, well, John Jones beat him. John Jones took him down because that's his biggest weakness. But styles make fights, as I'm saying. And this was beautiful from Gane. It was tremendous. He really showed how versatile he is on his feet, and how for a heavyweight to move like a light heavyweight or even a middleweight like that it's fucking impressive. Now, Sean O'Malley also had a good showing at the UFC White House event. Precision striking, him free flowing again, looking more like himself. His last fight, I was a bit underwhelmed, and I think he needed a convincing win where he shows the skills, and there they are, man. Fucking just, he uses those long limbs, and he's so accurate, times everyone really well. It was fantastic from him. He deserves it. And I hope this gets him back into the flow of him being that elite striker that he can be, because mentally, he's just not being himself for a while, in my opinion. I've got to show this one, right? Not just for the fight, but actually what happens afterwards. Okay. Really used his athletic advantages at heavyweight against big Derek Lewis, who, he's just too big and slow now, man. This guy was like a cat in there compared to him. Lovely finish. And then he gets on the microphone.
Michelle Obama is a man. Am I right, America?
This guy knew exactly what he was doing, because everyone would be fucking politically in America will be talking about that, because the libs are already fucking, they're raging about a UFC event on the White House lawn. And then he calls out Michelle Obama and goes, if you're going to be pissed off, let me give you a fucking reason. This guy, his entrance, Hulk Hogan music, his performance, the interview, well done, mate. You get it. You understand the fight game. Most don't. He does, clearly. Make sure people fucking remember you. If you fight shit, talk shit. Whatever, do something for Christ's sake. But he nailed it on all levels. We had John Jones with his goat chain being like, well, I beat Gane, so therefore I'm the greatest of all time. Yeah, but when it was time to fight Tom Aspinall and the UFC offered you the biggest check they've ever offered a fighter ever, $30 million, you wouldn't take the fight. You lost that one, son. I'm sorry, you lost. Because that chain would be a lot better if you'd have took that fight. Problem is, you would have gotten chinned. Because styles make fights, and John Jones knew that was a bad style matchup for him, in my opinion. Oh my God, they even got him doing the armbar on Michelle. Fuck's sakes. This is Sean Strickland turning up at the White House and being arrested, which is mental, really. I know he said some political shit or whatever, but he hasn't... What the fuck are we doing here? And this is the thing. I noticed, like, the WWE guys were there. We seen Conor Benn there, Tyson Fury there. But, like, Sean Strickland, middleweight champion, banned. Tom Aspinall, heavyweight champion, not invited. This is a UFC event. And this is where the UFC do get rightful criticism of, like, you don't really look after your fighters very well here. Come on. Treat them like champions. And before I wrap this up, they did play an interview clip from Conor McGregor talking to Max Holloway and Joe Rogan.
You're not going to lay a glove on me. And even if you do lay a glove on me, I'm going to laugh in your face. It's another world here against me, and it's another world at this weight. I'm going to come out of this bout unscathed and in all glory.
If he comes out of this unscathed, I'll be shocked, because the thing that used to make McGregor hard to hit was his footwork. How is his footwork going to be 5 years out of the cage with a massive leg break the last time he was in the cage? Probably not great is the answer. But look, it gives us another reason to stay invested in the UFC. So many dud events, so many nothing events, countless boring fights. And I feel like this White House event plus the McGregor one coming up, it puts the UFC stock up a bit. It makes it feel like, all right, you've got our attention. Follow it up with another good event now. But let me know what you thought of the fights in the comments below. Appreciate all the support as always on the Pain Game. Hit the like button, subscribe. We'll see you on the next one.